Daniel here for Tabletop for One. Please join me at the table as I play through Pioneer Rails. And I thank you for joining me for this solo playthrough of Pioneer Rails. Pioneer Rails is a roll and write network building game that is going to be on Kickstarter starting next week. So please check my link in the description and so you can click on it and follow the campaign and be notified when it launches. I have been provided with a print and play copy of a couple of the maps, but they're going to have a lot more content available with the Kickstarter. And so in Pioneer Rails, you are going to be drafting cards, choosing which network or which station to build from. You have the 4 suits of the cards as stations on the map. You'll be trying to complete various goals, as well as capture bandits, or separate cattle ranches, build around forts, connect to rail yards, and then connect to the various towns across the map. And while you're choosing those cards, you're going to be building up hands of 5 cards that will score you points based off of the hands. And so if you get a pair, you get 1 point. If you get 2 pairs, you get 2 points. 3 of a kind, 3 points. Full house is 4 points. A straight is 5 points. A 4 of a kind is 6 points. So you'll be trying to build these hands as well as building out your networks at the same time, providing an interesting decision space between card, hand, and the network you want to expand. And so on the map here, you'll notice there's various icons. We have these gun icons and jail icons over here, and this indicates places where you can capture bandits. So if you look on the field here, like at this one here, it shows the gun icon, and it shows a 2 in the red. What that means is that you need to put 2 rail lines alongside this hex in 1 turn. If you do so, you'll capture the bandit. If you only put 1 line, or don't have room in your jailhouse, you won't capture the bandit. You'll actually get a negative point, so you circle a negative point. The forts here are found across the map. There's 3 forts. There's 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. And for every line you put around the fort, you're going to get 2 points at the end of the game. And then the cattle ranches are found in various points across the map. And the cattle ranches want to be separated from other cattle ranches. So you're going to be using the rail lines to separate them, as well as the rivers, the borders, and the mountains. The mountains are indicated here. And of course the river is obvious on the map. And then you have a rail yard. And the rail yards, if you draw 3 lines around the rail yards, there's a few on the map. There's 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. If you draw 3 lines around it, you'll get to circle this multiplier. And this multiplier will give you points based on your best network to towns from a station. So let's say I had connected this heart station to 3 towns. If I get the 3 multiplier, I will multiply that 3 by 3 and get 9 points. Or if I get the 4 multiplier, I'll get 12 points, and so on. And then, of course, we have the towns. Now, the towns provide interesting opportunities. First of all, it's the only way that you can connect one station network to another station network. So if I want to connect the spades to the hearts, I will maybe draw lines from the heart to this town, and then from the spades to that town. Lines can never go through a town. They dead end in a town. So in order to connect to that town from the other side, you have to do a different line. On top of that, anytime you want, you can use a town by crossing off a circled town that you had earned and do a benefit. First of all, you get 1 extra line to draw that turn. But then you're able to draw a bridge across a river. You're able to tunnel through mountains. You're able to shortcut across a hex. You're able to split a line. Normally a line has to go in a continuous way, but with using the town ability, you can actually branch off the line in 2 different directions. You're able to change the suit of a card. And so the towns provide a lot of extra bonus abilities. Then we also have the jail cells. The jail cells require 3 lines next to them. And when you get the jail cell, you'll circle jail cell over here, giving you more space for prisoners to capture later. And then last but not least, we have the saloon. So the saloon requires 2 lines next to it. And when you put 2 lines next to the saloon, you'll circle the saloon on here, and then you'll come down to this bonus area at the bottom here. And the bonus area, you'll circle one of the values of the cards. And when you do that, every time you score a hand, which happens at the end of the round, you'll gain bonus points based off of the card that's circled here. So let's say I had circled a jack, and I had a 3 of a kind of jacks in this hand. I would score an extra point per jack in that hand. So a 3 of a kind would give me 3 points, and 3 jacks would give me 6 points. And you'll see that as I play. And so for the setup for the solo mode, you'll set up normally except for a few changes. First of all, you're going to cross out all the objectives over here. You're not getting points for objectives this game. Instead, you're going to have to complete all the objectives, or the scoring threshold increases by 10 points each one you don't complete. The scoring threshold for the solo mode starts out at 60 points, and I'll write that there, and if that changes, I will change it. And for this forest map, you're going to remove 3 gold cards from the deck, the ones that say 1A, 1B, and 1C. Those will get removed. Then you'll separate all the gold cards by icon. So we have the sheriff badge here, we have the horseshoe here, and then the train here. You'll separate those into 3 piles, draw 1 from each, and place those in a face down pile. I've already drawn 3 and I've set those aside. And then you're going to draw extra objectives based on your difficulty level. So for beginner, it's 0. For easy, it's 1, medium 2, hard 3, and 4 for legendary. And for this demo, I'm going to do 2 cards, so the medium difficulty, and these extra cards automatically come out face up. The other cards will come out at the beginning of rounds 2, 3, and 4, so they'll start to pile up here, and you'll need to work on them. And so these particular objectives are as follows. This one requires that I would tunnel through 2 mountains, but from different stations. So I'll have to tunnel through maybe the one here near the hearts, and maybe the one here near the clubs. This objective here requires that I connect to 6 different cities. And so those are 2 of the goals that I'm going to be trying to complete. Again, if I do not complete these goals, I have to add 10 to that target score, and I don't want to do that. Alright, so at the beginning of the game, what you're going to do is you're going to draw the first card and discard it. So that'll go off to the side here. And then you'll draw 2 cards, and these are the cards that you get to choose from this round. And so what you're looking at is you're looking at the suit and the value. The value is going to play an important role when you're trying to make a hand of cards. And then the suit, of course, tells you which station you can come out of. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the king of clubs. So I write a K down here at the bottom. And now I get to draw 3 tracks from the club station. So I could go 1, 2, and 3 if I wanted to, or I could do 2 and 1, or all 3 in a row. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is do 1, 2, and 3 here. Now I've completed this saloon here by drawing 2 lines next to it. So I'll go ahead and circle the saloon. And that means I get to circle one of my bonus cards here at the bottom. And since I already have a king in my hand, I'm going to circle the K. And then you discard the cards, discard the top card again, and draw 2 new cards for the next turn. And so now I have 2 diamonds. So all it matters is which value I want in my hand. And since I already have a king, I'm going to go ahead and take the king. And so with the diamonds here, I think I'm going to go this direction. Go 1, 2, 3. Now I've placed 2 lines alongside of a bandit in one turn, so I can go ahead and circle this bandit here, and then a circle over here that I've captured one. That bandit will score me 1 point at the end of the game. You get points for all the bandits that you've circled. Discard the cards, discard the top card, and draw 2 new cards. Alright, I have the same suit again, so I just need to choose ace or jack. And you want to keep an eye on which cards get discarded because they're less likely to show up in future draws. So I think I'm going to go with the jack this time. And then I'm going to go down on this side here and go 1, 2, 3. And that'll get me another bandit to circle. Now I have to be careful because I'm almost out of space in my jail. You start out with the 1 jail, so I have space for 3 bandits. But once I circle a 3rd bandit, Any other bandit I try to capture will actually go free because I have no room, and I'll lose points for that. Alright, so my plan worked out fairly well. There's another jack, so if I add it to my hand right now, that'll get me a 2 pair, and it might be worth it. That means I'm going out of diamonds, and that's actually not a bad thing for me, so I think I'll go ahead and do that. Draw the J down here. And then I'm going to go 1 here and circle the town. So I've connected to my first town, so I circle it there. So I currently have 2 town abilities anytime I want. And then I'm going to draw 2 this way because I'm going to head towards that jail. I want to get that jail. All right, check that out. There's a king there. That means if I place it in my hand, I will have a full house, and that's going to score me a lot of points. So I definitely wanted to go down that road. So we'll go ahead and draw a K here. Now, I have an opportunity here. If I use a house ability right now, I can go and build a tunnel through this mountain. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then I gain a 4th one for using the town ability, and that'll get me another saloon here. And that means I get to circle the jack. Now I'm going to get bonus points for all of these cards. I'm going to score quite well here. On top of that, I would tunnel through a mountain, which is going to complete the first part of this objective. So definitely a good situation for me there. And so now I have a full hand of cards. It's the end of the round. That means I go ahead and tally the points from these cards. For a full house, I get 4 points. And then I get 1 point for each of these cards that I've circled. That means an extra 5 points. So we're looking at 9 points right off the bat. And then you take the deck of cards and we're going to reshuffle these. And then we're going to draw 1 new objective to add to the pile here. So now I need to get 2 new jails in order to complete this objective. I'm actually in a pretty good position for that because I'm going for that jail there. And I'm also already got 1 on this jail here. So it's actually not too bad. All right, so both are jacks. So it's either I'm going to go with spades or clubs. Not sure yet. I think I'll go ahead and use the clubs here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. And so that's going to earn me points towards that fort at the end of the game. I'm also starting to separate this cattle ranch. I'll need to separate it on the other side as well. But definitely a good start. All right, Jack of Hearts or King of Clubs. That's a tough choice. Although I do need a jail, so I think I'll go ahead and go with the Jack of Hearts. I'm going to go 1, 2 right there. That'll circle the jail. And then I have 1 left. And I think I want to head towards that town. Because I do need to complete 6 towns. So I'm going to put that one coming out of the station, heading towards that town. Alright, Queen of Hearts, Queen of Diamonds. So I'm definitely getting a queen in my hand. The question is, where is it going? I think I'll go ahead and use the Queen of Diamonds and get this jail cell that I wanted. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. But that's only going to put 1 line next to the bandit. So in order to avoid that, I'm going to use this town ability to gain 1 extra movement. So you can do that without using the ability to like branch off or cross a mountain. You can just use the town ability for the extra movement. That actually gets me to another town. It gets me a jail cell and it gets me a bandit. So it has some nice combo action there. And if you notice then, I have earned 2 jail cells now. So that's going to go ahead and complete this objective. So I'm back down to these 2 objectives. I almost have this one completed. So definitely a good start. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the King of Diamonds this turn. This time I'm going to move up this way and go 1, 2, 3. And that's going to complete another bandit. I'll capture that bandit, adding it to my jail. On top of that, I get to complete the cattle. You see, the cattle is now separated by this line down here and by the mountain and this line here. So it's in its own area. That means I get to circle the cattle ranch. And so for cattle ranches right now, I have a total of 2 points. You get whatever is the highest amount of points circled at the end of the game. And you're probably yelling at me and saying, hey, you actually earned another one too. Yes, I did. I earned this one earlier. So that one is going to add more points to the end of the game. All right, I'm definitely tempted with that King of Hearts. Let's go ahead and do that. That's going to make a 2 pair in my hand, as well as lots of kings and jacks. So I'm definitely looking good there. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 and capture another bandit. But if you notice, that also closed off this cattle ranch. The line here the border and the mountain keep that cattle ranch away from other cattle ranches. So I circled that, circled the bandit. Definitely looking really good there. And so it's the end of the round. We'll go ahead and tally the points. And this time I get 2 points for my 2 pair, plus 4 points for my kings and jacks, making a total of 6 points for that hand. Go ahead and shuffle these cards and get ready for the next round. And then I'm drawing a new objective here. And so my next objective is asking that I put at least 2 lines next to all 3 forts. Well, I already got 1 going there, so that's good. So I definitely need to branch out to this fort here. And then I need to finish this fort here. All right, so we definitely have the spades track going here, which I guess means I could go towards that fort and work that out. And really doesn't matter, king or jack. Now there's a jack in the discard pile, so maybe I just won't go with the jack and I'll go with the king in the hopes of getting lots of kings this round. And so, let's see, we're going to go 1, 2, and 3. So that completes that fort. I should probably circle these to remind myself that I've completed those for the objective. And look at that, there's another king. I'm going to go ahead and get that one. It'll be a king of clubs this time. And so now I have the opportunity to complete a second tunnel through the mountain. So I'm going to be using my town. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 here, because I get the extra movement from the town. I'll circle the bandit here, which completes that one. That's a lot of points there. It's a 4-point bandit. And then I go ahead and complete this objective since I have 2 tunnels, 1 here from clubs and 1 here from hearts, and that's done. Well, I guess I'm not getting a 4 of a kind this round because the last 2 kings came out, but I will get 1 of them. And I think I'll go with the king of diamonds. I need to work towards that fort. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 there. I haven't earned anything off of that movement except for I'll get 2 points for that fort line. But that's about it. And I want to keep going with the diamonds here. So we'll take that 10 of diamonds. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 here. That'll complete a bandit. It completes my other fort, and it completes a saloon. We'll go ahead and circle the 10 for the saloon. 1 bandit. And then I've completed this fort objective. I've put 2 lines next to all 3 forts, and that's done. All right, with that 10 of spades, that's going to give me a full house. So I definitely want that. That means I am working off the spades this turn. So I have to note something here. I can't connect the spades to this hearts line except through a town, so I can't go that direction. But I do think I'm going to go 1 here, and then 2, 3 here, and that'll complete this bandit, as well as completing this cattle ranch, because now this cattle ranch is separated by everything else. And so that's the end of the 3rd round. I go ahead and score my hand. And that hand is going to give me a total of 9 points. 4 from the full house, and then another 5 from the saloon bonus. And then we draw the last objective here. And so the last objective is 5 cattle ranches. Wow, I've already got 4, so that's actually put me in a good position. And so let's check to see what I need to do this round. So I need, let's see, I have 1, 2, yeah, I only have 2 towns. So I definitely need to connect to 4 more towns to finish this off. And then I just need 1 more cattle ranch, so that's almost done. So we'll see how I do on this one. And so I'm going to take the queen of diamonds this round. I know there's a king there that would give me an extra point, but I think I need to do the diamond. So I'm going to go 1, 2, circle this town, and then 3 over here and circle that town. That gives me 2 towns for that move. And of course, I did not notice that I guess I'd already completed this cattle ranch here. So I actually have the cattle ranch objective completed. I'm really not good keeping track of the cattle ranches because that one's completed too. So I have 6. I have plenty. And so in this turn, I'm going to use the Queen of Hearts. I'm going to go 1 here and circle that town. And I'm going to use a town to go in extra space. We'll go 1, 2, 3 here. Circle that bandit. So I just need 1 more town and I've completed that final objective. I think this time I will take the Jack of Hearts. I'm going to use another town as well to go in extra space. And this time we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And that'll complete this rail yard. And I get to circle the multiplier here. And as you've probably already seen, that did close off this other cattle ranch, giving me now 18 points for cattle ranches for this game. And with the Jack of Spades, we'll go ahead and write down Jack. And I'm going to go 1, 2 here and circle this town. And then I think I'll just add 1 here. And so now I have completed my 6-town objective. So anything beyond this now is a lot of extra points, and we'll see how high I can go. I'm really not good at catching these cattle ranches, so I definitely closed off this one here. And let's see if I closed off this one. Yep, it looks like I closed off that one too. And so that gives me 2 more cattle ranches. Wow, 27 points. I've never had so many cattle ranches in a game yet. And there's one over here too. Look at that. Well, I definitely think I'm beating the target score of 60 points. I'm getting 33 from just the cattle ranches. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and take the King of Diamonds, but I'm going to use a town ability to change it to hearts. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 here and circle that town, gaining me another town. And so I have 1 movement remaining. I'm going to go ahead and spend it right here. Now let me circle that saloon, and I'll get the queen on there. And so now we tally up the final hand score. I've got a 2 pair, that's 2 points. I've got bonus points for all 5 cards, so that's going to be 7 points there. And so at this point, the game is now done, and we're going to tally up the total score. And so since I've completed all the objectives, the target score remains 60. We're going to tally these here. I've got 15 plus 16, so that's 31. And then we're going to get these here. We've got 16 points in bandits, 14 points in forts, 33 points in cattle, and then I get the multiplier times the station that's connected to the most cities, and that's going to be the diamonds here. It's connected to 4 cities, so that's 4 times 3 is going to get me 12. And then I tally the total amount of towns that are circled. It doesn't matter if they're crossed off, and that's 8 points there. Adding these all together, and I scored 114. Wow, I almost feel like I did something wrong because my previous scores had been around the mid-70s, but somehow I pulled it off. I think it was all those cattle ranches. That definitely worked in my favor. And I think next time I'll have to try it on the legendary difficulty and have a total of 7 objectives to complete. And so this has been a solo playthrough of Pioneer Rails. Please check out the Kickstarter link in my description. Please also like and subscribe to this channel if you like the content you see here. Ask me any questions in the comments below, and I thank you very much for watching Tabletop for One, and have a great night.